Well, hey everyone, and welcome to today's live stream, a morning live stream on extroverted thinking. Yeah, this is done just before I go to work. And yeah, thankful for anybody who joins up, even though it's early or late, wherever you are. What I will say is extroverted thinking here, for me, is your flow function. I'm going to talk about extroverted feeling as your flow function. And what that means is I'm talking about it strictly from the perspective of the dominant function. When extroverted thinking is your first priority, when it comes naturally to you, when it's effortless, when it's fun, when it feels meaningful, when it feels important, when you feel this way about extroverted feeling, this is your dominant function. Now, what is extroverted feeling? I call it here in the title Project Intelligence. What is Project Intelligence, you might ask? It is the primary skill of the professional archetype. So it is the most distinguishing quality of a professional, somebody of a higher degree of excellence at a task or a project or some kind of a field of work or some kind of activity. So if you're looking at what extroverted thinkers value, then it's being a professional, being truly good in a field, being good at a task, knowing your environment, being good at what could it be, economics, guitar playing, juggling, like having and feeling confident in your environment and navigating your environment, navigating a project, navigating your business, knowing the ins and outs of how something works. Extroverted thinking types strive for this degree of excellence or professionality in what they do. So that requires objectivity. Objectivity is really important to extroverted thinking types. Being able to see something objectively, being able to think in objectives, being able to define what your environment is, how it works, what it needs, what resources are available, how you can use different things, how you can use the resources, how to get the resources, how to get from point A to point B. That ability to project your environment, to make a projection about how things are and what you need and how to get it done. So what extroverted thinking types do is they count, and they count a lot. So they look at the quantitative aspects of reality and of their environment. They look at what is going on, how it works, what it seems to be, how much you seem to need, and they make estimations on this aspect, and they do this pretty naturally. This is a pragmatic function, so it's based firstly on what works, what appears to give the right results. What results do I want? How do I get the results? So it does not necessarily take logic into a factor here. It doesn't necessarily look at what should work and how exactly to do it. And this allows it to use a degree of force. And force is very important here. So what I mean with this is force as in if something isn't working and you don't know why, being able to push buttons and smash the keyboard until it loosens up and until it works. Extroverted thinking can be a little more forceful in this sense. It can see when something isn't working, it can bring out the tape and it can just tape the item. Instead of fixing it, just tape it. Instead of spending hours trying to get it to work again, just find some contemporary solution that will give the results you need. So extroverted thinking is clunky and it's focused on purely what works. And as you hear all these traits, you should be thinking of 4 core personality types. First, of course, the ENTJ and the ESTJ. But third and fourth, you should also think of the ENTP and the ESTP. Why these 2 types, you might ask? Well, because they are also extroverts and they are also thinking types. ENTPs and ESTPs, they are not as likely as their introverted cousins to start thinking theoretically, how should it work, what could be right. They are faster when thinking. They are better able at coming up with solutions, at improvising, at just doing it on feeling, to just go in and just do it and just get it done, So that is why this is their flow function. They enjoy doing this. They like doing this. It comes naturally to them. So this process is just as important to them as it is to ENTJs or ESTJs. What I'm learning when I'm discovering this process is extroverted thinking is a heart function. So it is something we perform with, it's something we play with, it's something we use to help other people, and it's something we use for creativity and creative purposes. So we use it to impress other people, we can use it to help other people, we can use it to have fun and to enjoy ourselves and to create a good environment and a fun environment for ourselves and other people. And we can use it to create or build or make something. So when you're building or making something, that's extroverted thinking. When you got a challenge ahead of you, a deadline, and you have to meet the deadline, and you have to win, and you have to perform better than you did last year, also extroverted thinking. And when you're looking at, okay, that's this person is working on that project and they need help succeeding it. What do they need to succeed with it? Okay, they need money. Okay, they need stickers. I'll get the stickers. That's extroverted thinking. And when you're looking at the perspective of play, so, okay, we got a party. What can we do to have a fun party? We need beer. Okay, we need a lot of beer. Or we need to rent a studio, or we need to rent an apartment or a place to have the party. That's extroverted thinking once again. So you see, it comes in a lot of different situations. It's handy for a lot of different purposes. And it's a heart function. So it has to do with our values, what's important to us, what we think is right and wrong, and it's related to reviewing a situation. So another important aspect of it is, did I meet my expectations? Did I finish in time of the deadline? Did I do better than last year? Did I get all the stickers my friend needed? Did I manage to rent a good apartment to have the party in? Did I manage to get an arrangement with the bar? Did I manage to get everybody the invitations on time? These are things extroverted thinkers pride themselves on. So they are constantly evaluating, am I living in accordance with my expectations? Am I performing according to my standards? And this is, of course, also important in the creative aspect of extroverted thinking. When you're engaged with making something or building something and putting something together that is original and that fits with you and that will be better than anything ever made before, more efficient, faster, better, better looking, better in all degrees, So professionality, we return to that once again. Professionality is very important for the extroverted thinking type. When they are not able to help their friends because they can't give them what they need, when they are not able to perform according to deadlines and hit the targets they need, when they are not able to book that studio, they feel unprofessional. They feel, oh, I'm such a letdown. I'm so unprofessional. I'm so incompetent. That's what it gets you at. Like, it gets you feeling like you're not competent enough, like you're not able enough. So that's something you pride yourself on. You've had moments where you've done badly at something, when you've been clumsy. A lot of extroverted thinking types feel clumsy. That's something they struggle with a lot. Like, I'm such a mess up. Like, I want to be so professional and I really value it a lot. But then I'm so clumsy, and then I end up tripping over myself, and then I end up making too many commitments, and then I end up not having enough money, or you start feeling hit on that level. You start feeling unprofessional in that aspect. So this is where extroverted thinkers struggle so much. And what they're looking for, of course, is that feeling of satisfaction and pride. And when you feel that, yes, I can do this, and I'm so good at this. I'm so professional. I'm so able. I can do anything. I can accomplish this. I can do this well. I can meet my own expectations. I can do what it is I'm looking for. So extroverted thinking is sometimes associated with reading the data, reading the statistics, reading the mind maps, the brain charts. When you're looking at a traditional office environment, when you're looking at the historical performance of the company, the growth, when you're looking at like the data. So data is very important to extroverted thinking types. How much data? Where can I get the data? What do the numbers say? What does the figures say? So extroverted thinkers, they look a lot at this. And this should not fool anybody that the data controls the extroverted thinking type. It is the other way around. The data is interpreted by the extrovert. An extrovert looks at the data, looks at the numbers, and then looks at what they want the numbers to be. And why are they not the numbers I want them to be? And how can I get the numbers to be what I want them to be? So there is a personal sense of self and a sense of identification with the data. I am the numbers, and I am my performance, and I am what I do, and I am how well I do it. So there is a tendency to identify with this and feel this is me and this is who I am. That's also why you pride yourself so much on it, why you want it to be so good, and why you care so much about it. Because if the data is bad, then you feel bad. So that's the thing extroverted thinkers struggle with. That sense of strength or weakness. As an introverted feeling type, my core struggle with extroverted thinking is this feeling like I have to be strong and pushing myself to use extroverted thinking. Introverted feelers, we have to push ourselves to be extroverted thinking types. We have to force ourselves to remain objective. We have to force ourselves to look at the actual situation. But extroverted thinkers, they don't have to force themselves to do this. It comes naturally to them. It comes from a sense of flow. If they just silence their mind, if they just calm themselves down, the objectiveness just radiates forward. It is only when they force themselves to be subjective, only when they force themselves to engage in introverted feeling, that this disappears. And that typically comes down to walls. The biggest fail an extroverted thinker can do is retreat to who they are. Why did you fail at that job? Why didn't you do that? Well, that's just who I am, that's just me. I'm just a failure. I'm just a screw up. And the extroverted thinkers can do this sometimes. They can fall in this trap of just, oh, I'm doing badly at school. It must be because I suck as a person and because of my subjectiveness, and it must be because of this and that. And that sense of victim mentality and that sense of hiding behind yourself and your subjectivity, that can be very detrimental to the extroverted thinking type's growth. And it can have other factors as well, and that can be choosing to feel like it's good even if it's bad. Choosing to decide, yeah, okay, I did badly, but that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's not actually something that I did wrong. Sometimes extroverted thinking types, they can act like they have no flaws. Every time they make a mistake, that's the right thing to do. It's always the right thing to do. They can choose to look at it subjectively and force themselves to look at, but to alter their perception, to make it seem good, even if it isn't. And because this is forced, it is also not natural. So it's not a representation of how you really feel. So you do have this creeping sensation within you as an extroverted thinking type when you do this, that I probably shouldn't do this. But you can still fall in the trap of doing it. You can still struggle with this sometimes. So what you have to do is remind yourself of is to be aware of this grip of introverted feeling and how it can make you act like a victim, or how it can make you cover up mistakes, or how it can make you alter your perception of things. And that, of course, goes completely against your objectivity, and it goes against the professionality you strive for, and it goes against your core values. So what makes you feel good about yourself? So whenever you do this, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to feel happy. You're not going to feel satisfied. So look for that emotion. Look for that validation. Want to feel proud of yourself. Want to feel happy about yourself. Want to feel satisfied. That's the most important thing. So, okay, thanks everybody for joining up on today's live stream. It's a short one, sure, but I got work. And yeah, I'm really happy you all tuned in. Hope you have a great day or night, whatever you do over there. Do feel free to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Erik Thor. And also check out our Discord community and share your thoughts and opinions about extroverted thinking right there. Thanks, everyone, and have a nice day.